Hello friends, in this video series, you will learn all the information about Buildbox 2 2D game making and you will see how to make games with this game engine. Buildbox is a hyper-casual game development platform in general terms. Unlike some traditional game development platforms, Buildbox requires no knowledge of code. As the name suggests, you just drag and drop to create games. For example, Color Switch, a game created in less than a week with Buildbox, reached over 75 million downloads on mobile platforms. This shows just how influential this game-making platform can be. In this video, you'll learn the basics to make your first game with Buildbox. The platform itself will provide all the art and sound elements you need, and you won't need any programming knowledge. One of the biggest obstacles to developing a game has always been learning coding and programming skills. What Buildbox does is that it takes all the coding and programming out of the game design. The development platform hides all the coding and programming behind the scenes, which makes it intuitive, easy to use, and anyone can use the development platform. Every tool you need to create the game you want to make is included in Buildbox. The team at Buildbox likens their drag-and-drop game builder to making a PowerPoint presentation. Let's take a look at Buildbox's capabilities. How does it actually work? As for the properties of the elements you drag and drop, you can selectively edit them. Beyond the drag-and-drop simplicity, it's an intuitive interface. This is how Buildbox opens its doors to many game developers who never cared about learning how to code. Buildbox basically has two game development options: Buildbox Classic, so Buildbox 2, and Buildbox 3. Buildbox Classic, it is our traditional 2D game maker with drag-and-drop functionality without coding knowledge. Buildbox 3 is used to create professional-looking 3D games regardless of skill level. In this series, we will be talking about both. Before getting into game making and this platform, we need to have some basic knowledge. This information will also be useful for other game engines when it comes to making mobile games. Let's first explain what a hyper-casual game is. Have you ever looked at a game someone else is playing on their cell phone in a public place? If you notice that the person playing the game is tapping and moving quickly for minutes at a time, they are probably playing a game in the hyper-casual category. Hyper-casual is a category of games commonly referred to as snackable casual games, referring to lightweight apps built with simple game mechanics, quick rounds, and levels. They are so named because they are incredibly fun for people of all ages and tastes, casual gamers, and even for those who don't usually play mobile games. Many casual gamers typically only play mobile games when they're out and about, on their way to work, queuing, or have a few spare minutes waiting for the microwave to finish. Considering the widest demographic of gamers, the majority of gamers prefer games that they can pick up and put down easily without feeling overcommitted, but with enough excitement to keep them coming back for more. This is where snack casual games come in. In a nutshell, they are games that are easy to learn but difficult to master. They are games that people of all abilities and ages can play in their daily schedules. I would like to talk about 3 elements that we think will benefit you in game making. These 3 elements are very important, and I strongly suggest you keep them in mind when developing your next hit game. Let's take a look at these 3 important elements for casual games. 1. Keep your game short. Keep your hyper-casual game short. This way your players spend very little effort. Snackable games should be short. When you think about some of the most successful casual games in the world, they have short sessions. An ideal average session length is between 40 and 45 seconds, and players can get rewards or progress in a single short game. Among the very popular games right now are Helix Jump and Roller Splat. If we look at it, both reached number 1 on the App Store charts for several weeks worldwide. Helix Jump and Roller Splat are both endlessly snackable games. They don't demand much effort and commitment from players. Each level only takes a maximum of 45 seconds to complete. The fact that the ball is constantly moving in Helix Jump and has to move in Roller Splat makes it difficult for players to pause mid-game. The effortless yet short sessions of both games not only keep players engaged, but also increase their potential lifetime value. This is because shorter levels create more opportunities to show ads when the player fails or progresses. And more ads help to generate more revenue from interested players or increase the likelihood of players making in-app purchases to remove the ad feature. In summary, short session games have high monetization potential because they allow for interstitial and rewarded ads between game levels. 2. Maintaining satisfaction is key. You should always maintain player satisfaction in your hyper-casual game. This way, your players will enjoy completing the level. The best hyper-casual snack games constantly reward players and give them satisfaction by giving them as many rewards as possible as soon as possible. You can lure players by rewarding every decision and achievement they make in the game, or even just by having visually appealing and dynamic UI user interface, so-called interface elements and animation. Adding level progression is a great way to help your players improve their skills and give them that important feeling of reward. Games like Roller Splat and Helix Jump represent the second core element of hyper-casual games. Aside from a satisfying, simple and clean user interface, both games offer players a constant mix of reward and challenge. The progress bar in Helix Jump, for example, makes it exciting and enticing for players to keep beating levels, no matter how difficult each level is. In both games, visual cues, such as point bonuses and positive messages, encourage and motivate players to keep playing. In Roller Splat, the confetti explosions players receive after completing a level make them feel satisfied and accomplished. These games also reward players with perks, e.g., increased speed plus power for Helix Jump, for short-lived displays of skill and satisfaction. Roller Splat allows players to unlock rewards even after overcoming a difficult level. The third important aspect is keeping your game simple. Keep your hyper-casual game simple, so your players can play anywhere. Finally, snackable casual games should be simple and easy to play, no matter where your players are and how much time they have. The mechanics are straightforward and don't require much input from your players. The game should be simple enough that it can be played when players have 2 minutes to kill waiting in the doctor's office or 20 minutes to waste waiting for the next bus to arrive. No matter how impressive a game is in theory, if players can't understand it immediately, they're likely to uninstall it from their phones. Simple player objectives are what make games like Crowd City and Hole.io a snackable appetizer casual game. The game is built around squeezing the masses of players in the respective games into a hole by moving their fingers using a scrolling mechanic. Therefore, one way to keep things simple is to slightly tweak a mechanic that has worked well for your games in the past. In the examples above, it's clear that the mechanics that Crowd City and Hole.io have are almost identical. It's as straightforward as possible. In both games, all players have to do is guide an object through a city with one finger. The end result in creating hyper-casual games should be short, satisfying, and simple. Keep in mind that there will still be a lot to experiment with. For example, art and design, ad formats, and ad frequency. But focusing on these 3 elements is the right way to create a hyper-casual game that players can't resist. Again, it's important to remember that what I've described in this section are the things you need to consider to create a hyper-casual game. Whether it's making a game on a platform like Buildbox or making a game on a game engine like Unity, this information applies to all game engines and hyper-casual game productions. In the next episode, I'll be explaining popular mechanics used in hyper-casual games, and in the following episodes, I'll be showing how to make a simple hyper-casual game on the Buildbox platform and how to use the platform without writing code. I hope you enjoyed my video. Subscribe to my channel. Don't forget to like the video and tell your friends about this channel. I hope to see you in the next lessons.